Hello everybody and welcome to another video. We're going to be canning up some French cut green beans. We love French cut green beans. And for some reason where we're living now, they're not the easiest to find. So either everybody loves them up here or nobody likes them up here and they don't sell them. We don't know which one it is. But whenever we can find them, trust me, we buy them. Okay, so I'm washing the beans. And yes, I'm probably bopping to some music, but anyway. In the water, I have it's nice, warm-ish. It's not cold, but it's not warm either. It's kind of, temperature water and vinegar. I splash it around. I soak them. I clean them. I let that go for probably 10 or so minutes just to make sure they're nice and clean. And I cut off the ends. I cut off any bad parts. And that little container, it's all going to go into my bag for making stock. Why? Because there's still flavor in that stuff. And I do pick out the parts that are bad. I put them in the compost. They don't go into the stock. So anyway, I have this cool little contraption, which you're going to see very soon. But I figured, people like seeing how, washing the beans, cutting them, preparing them. But this is French cut beans, so preparing them is slightly different. Which that should be coming up like any moment now. Should be. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. Now, so everybody knows I've sped this up. I do not move this quick. Yes, I'm wearing my painting pants. Why? Because I went down and started painting afterwards. Okay. Now we have that out of the way. This contraption is the greatest thing ever. It just slices the beans, as you can see, in the French cut style. It does it nicely and quickly, as long as you keep a good pace going. You need a good pace to keep this going, because if you go slow, it will clog up. And you want to make sure you get it right through the middle, not the sides, because then you'll see what happens there. They get stuck, and it just makes a mess, and then it's hard to clean the machine. And you always want to make sure your machine is clean and sterile before you start. I scrub the living poop before and after I use this thing, so that way I know it's clean. But I just love this thing. I found it on Amazon. If I can find a link for it, I will leave a link down below for it. Because I bought this thing, quite some years ago now. And I just love it. Like, seriously, how memorizing is that? That is just gorgeous. Watching them just go through. Cutting beautifully. It's so fantastic. Look at that. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful, glorious sight. Oh. Now I did do them in yellow beans as well, because I had some yellow beans. I didn't show that part. So here we go. I have the water nice and hot. We're going to blanch these beans. I do it for about 2 minutes. I think you're supposed to do it for like 5 minutes, but because I do them in the French cut style, I don't do it for as long because I don't want them to be overcooked. So you can see, I'm just dropping them in. I had a lot. I'm gonna admit it, guys. These ones came from the grocery store. The rest of them are coming from my garden now, but I needed to make sure I had some. And there's life. You can hear my microwave going. Okay, so we're getting them all in there. We're gonna blanch them for about 3 minutes. So we'll be back. Nope. Okay, we're not going to be back. We're going to put that down. All right. Get a slotted spoon. Push it down. Push. Y'all know how to do this, right? Yeah, of course you do. All right. So now it's done. And I do not drain them. I use that cooking liquid to can them with. I don't dispose of it. Now, I was making some of these for dinner that night. Not this night, that night. So I did pull some of them out. So in that way, we can have some for dinner. I thought yeah. If I'm making them, why not? Now, typically with French cut beans, you have little tiny pieces of pepper in there. Now, if I was freezing these, I would add it in. But because I'm canning it, I didn't want to, because peppers can for, 40 minutes or something? And beans only can for 20 minutes? Or is it 25? I can't remember right a second. So it's a really big time difference, and it's just not happening. So if you want to, add it in when you're cooking them. but just don't do it when you're making them and canning them, or freeze them and do it. That's even better too. Okay, so we're going to debubble. I pack these jars full. Why? Because I do. I find it makes more sense. And I use a slotted spoon that does have some leeway, like it gives, so it fits in the hole of the jar just nicely, so I can get everything in. And at this point, I'm like, I'm going to fill them as I'm going. And then, you know, after one jar, I was like, nope, denied. I'm not doing that again, because I just like, no. Okay, now I do fix those. You're going to see that. So we're going to fill the jars. And like I said, I did the yellow beans off camera. It's literally the same process, the same thing. And yes, I know I'm dropping stuff because I wasn't silly and I didn't move the handle. I think I do partially through or something because I realized what I did. Anyway, I don't pick that stuff up and put it in the jars. A lot of people do. I do not. Once it leaves the pot, if it hits the floor or it hits the stove, it doesn't go back in when I'm canning. If I'm still cooking it, it goes back in the pot. You know, it's just... Okay, so here we go. You can see they're still sticking up. I fixed that. This is all part of canning green beans. Well, at least this type of green beans anyway. If you're canning them sliced... Oh, look, that one went in there. I said I don't do that. I must have did that. Not even realize I did it. Well, look at that. Tisk, tisk, Tina. Tisk, tisk. Anyway. Canning them when they're cut makes it a lot easier. Okay, so you're going to have to just like really... You have to pack them in, essentially. But there's nothing better than green beans in the wintertime after they've been cooked or canned or whatever. I don't even care. They're just delicious all year round. We love them. We eat lots of green beans here. So you can see this is where I'm going to start pushing them down. I'm using the wrong end of the debubbler. That was when I gave up and I'm like, okay. So anyway, here we go. I'm going to add salt. It's 1/4 of a teaspoon per pint jar. Oh, I filled up with water too. Look at that. I did that off camera too. Okay, so we're debubbling. We're debubbling, getting all the jars, and then at this point, this is where I'm really making sure I have everything under that inch level. I know it's tricky, but I get there. I get there in the end. By pushing, packing. Actually, that one there kind of looks like it's still up. I must push it down. Oh, there we go. That one's down. Wipe the rims, get them good and clean. Get a lid on there. Put a lid on it. 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 One more. One more. There we go. Now we're going to put rings on them. And then into the canner they go. At this point, the jars are getting really hot to touch. That's okay. We'll get there. Okay. One more. Two more. I can count today, I swear. There we go. Last one. In the jar. In the canner. Lock and loaded. Oh, I didn't put... Oh, that's right, because I was talking to someone on the phone. So you can these for 20 minutes for pints. At your altitude, mine is 10 pounds, but because I use a dial gauge, it's 11 pounds of PSI. There we go. Lovely French cut green beans for the shelf for the winter, which we'll be very thankful for. So hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll talk to you soon.